The brilliant minds at Lucasfilm are back at it again, and this time they've put their foot in their mouth. Wait, that's happened before. This time well, Kathleen Kennedy said something really stupid.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
For the last decade, Star Wars has been in a bad place. Since the release of the first Disney Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, the Star Wars fanbase has suffered a schism that has yet to heal. Each subsequent film in the franchise furthered the damage to the point of no return. After Star Wars was run out of theaters due to declining interest from fans, Star Wars found a new home on television. The Star Wars series on Disney Plus were a hit initially, with The Mandalorian reaching crossover appeal and finding a place alongside the classic Star Wars characters. A few seasons of diminishing returns later, and that show has fallen out of favor with fans. While The Mandalorian represents the heights of Disney Star Wars, the pantheon of more disappointing shows like The Book of Boba Fett or Obi-Wan represent its low, and with the new series The Acolyte, it may go even lower. But before we talk about that disappointment, today's video is brought to you by me, Jeff Hicks, and my all-new graphic novel, Wokebusters. You've been hearing about it for years, folks, and it's finally here. Got outrage? Call Wokebusters. In a new interview with the New York Times for the upcoming Star Wars series The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said she is aware that women in the space franchise are often attacked online more than men because of the fan base being male-dominated. Female stars Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran recently faced online harassment from toxic fans when the most recent Star Wars film trilogy was released, and now The Acolyte is already being attacked in certain corners of the fandom. The Acolyte is an original story created by Leslie Headland that is set long before the events of The Phantom Menace. Headland, known for directing films such as Sleeping with Other People and co-creating Netflix's hit series Russian Doll, is the first woman to serve as a showrunner of a Star Wars series. Her show includes major new female Star Wars characters played by the likes of Amanda Stahlberg, Carrie-Anne Moss, Jodie Turner-Smith, and more. As reported by The Times, a loud, primordial part of the Star Wars fandom has pushed back in predictable fashion against the show. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the ranks of Jedi, reads a comment on the Acolyte trailer, with others expressing similar worldviews. Some trolls have nicknamed Headland's series the Wokalite. Folks, when you see outrage like this, you call Wokebusters. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people, Kennedy told the publication about her support for Headland's Acolyte vision. That's an easy decision for me. Operating within these giant franchises, now with social media and a level of expectation, it's terrifying, Kennedy continued. I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with this. I think a lot of the women who step into the Star Wars ring struggle with this a bit more, because the fan base, being so male-dominated, sometimes get attacked in the ways that can be quite personal. Headland has already started to limit her exposure to online chatter about the show to block out any of the toxic fans. The show hasn't even debuted yet. As a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling has been in the past. I felt that myself, she said. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. The Acolyte premieres sometime on Disney Plus, because I'm not going to use this platform to promote the show unless I can make fun of it. The pushback to The Acolyte is a many-layered thing. Lucasfilm executives always place blame on the fans. During The Last Jedi, they blamed fans for review bombing the film because allegedly they were sexist. The claims went as far as academia, where an alleged doctor, Morton Bay, tried to claim there was data showing that it was Russian bot activity. The data proved that was a lie. Every time there is a new Star Wars property, the claims of sexist fans arise, yet each time, the only thing that arises is awareness that the show being defended is absolutely devoid of any quality. These shows are corny, stupid, and vapid. The fan backlash is always on the content of the show, not the gender of the actor. This is another excuse from Lucasfilm. History has shown that Daisy Ridley, the woman who played Rey in the new Star Wars trilogy, did leave social media, but according to her own words, it was not the Star Wars fans. She said she didn't feel that anyone should grow up in the public eye. Same with Kelly Marie Tran. Her article written to the New York Times was about how she was seen as an Asian in Hollywood. These two examples are misinterpreted by the press willingly to paint the Star Wars fanbase as sexist, racist, homophobic, and many other things that fall in line with the narrative of Lucasfilm, or what they're trying to make Star Wars into in the modern age. The Star Wars fanbase has suffered over the last 5 years, as more and more poorly produced television series hit Disney+. Guilt and accusations will not entice an audience to subscribe to Disney+, and left-leaning political talking points will not get them to subscribe either. There's a disconnect. The people at Lucasfilm want to use Star Wars to get their talking points across, yet their lack of a story to drive home said talking points creates a narrative driven by the narrative, nothing more. One of the reasons fans are so ambivalent, and that's being kind, towards this series is the simple fact that it's based on the least successful Star Wars experiment, The High Republic. The High Republic is the stuff of legend. It's a multimedia project that appeals to no one, and book sales prove it. This independent Star Wars parody comic, Stealing Soul, has outsold some of the High Republic combo sets, and I'm just a guy with a pen and a microphone. Realistically, fans are tired of constant disappointment. Much like with Furiosa, fans are conditioned for entertainment featuring female leads to be terrible because most of it is ideology over logic. According to fans, Furiosa is not like this at all, but where would this line of thinking come from? Lucasfilm. Articles like this not only hurt Star Wars, but hurt all genre films with a female lead because they have producers, showrunners, and other executives spouting off all the same garbage rhetoric and getting the same garbage results. Fans will not support a show where creators punch down on them. Fans will not support a show that is clearly created to further the executive's ideological tirade. Fans will not support a show on brand name alone. Brand names have been tarnished. The Mad Max brand is tarnished, the Marvel brand is tarnished, the Indiana Jones brand is tarnished, and that's Lucasfilm's fault. The overly expensive dumpster fire killed all remaining Indiana Jones interest. Not only did people not go see the film, but they didn't buy the merchandise, talk about the film, or make it a part of their lives. All of the rhetoric surrounding the film was about Phoebe Waller-Bridge being a strong, independent woman and all of the other crap that goes along with it. Of course, there are other factors like Part 4 pulling an Amber Heard, but modern Lucasfilm goes for the women card, expecting fans to want to fight against those claims by spending their money to prove their virtue. Not in today's economy. People are burned by this. They just don't have the time and they aren't showing up. Furiosa is a massive flop, and according to critics, it's good, and according to the people who have seen it, it's not a woke dumpster fire. Furiosa is dying, and one of those factors is claims created by comments like this one from Kathleen Kennedy and other female filmmakers, producers, etc. Making themselves a victim before their show comes out will not get sympathy views, just apathy. The perception of a show can kill it no matter what. For example, X-Men 97. The show suffered from the conversation surrounding it. Who started that conversation? The showrunners, the writers, and the press, not the fans. The numbers show that only a low viewing number of 6% are watching, yet social media is ablaze with theories, crossover requests, and general hype, but that's not translating to Disney Plus subscriptions and views. Fans expected a woke dumpster fire, and while it didn't show its true colors until the end, the show wasn't that for 9 of the 10 weeks. It was ultimately disappointing, but the perception of the show was created by the showrunners. This is their fault, and it's about to happen again with The Acolyte. What we find is that Lucasfilm will never change their spots. They will always find a way to blame the fans and ignore all criticisms of their work. The claims that this company is on some damned fool idealistic crusade is undeniable. We've covered this for years. They, Lucasfilm, pronouns pal, do this for one reason. They think it will get people to talk about the show and watch it, but as we've learned, not all press is good press. The Acolyte has negative hype. All the Mary Sue articles in the world will not get people to prove that they don't hate women by whipping out their credit cards and subscribing to Disney Plus. Guilt is not a marketing tactic. What will happen is another Disney Plus Star Wars show will come and go, and the brand will continue to rot. Dangling a CGI Yoda in this series is not going to get people subscribing. Dragging out a tired Mark Hamill for The Mandalorian will not work. Nothing outside of creating something a majority of people care about, like The Mandalorian, and keeping it consistent is the only way for Lucasfilm to get out of the mud, but they can't get out of their own way long enough to do so. To avoid wasting your time, WCBS will be covering The Acolyte in this format each and every week, so you can be a part of the conversation without wasting your time. Friends, we've talked to YouTube, and a way to help this channel quickly is to check out our other videos. They won't be showing up in your feed because according to YouTube, they put out only a few notifications a day. So friends, help us by joining us on Tuesdays and Thursdays for live shows and check out videos like this during weekdays. We'll create a schedule to post everywhere, but they told us that we'll have to start paying per video to get them in your feed, and that's just ridiculous. They already take 30% before taxes. So instead of getting angry and militant and telling us to go elsewhere, help us beat the final boss by watching all the WCBS videos, giving them a like, and sharing them. There'll be more like this, so spread the word and help us out. It's a free way to keep you informed, entertained, and happy. You know, Kathleen Kennedy goes back to the wokeness well all the time. She pulls the sexism card too often. And now, Star Wars is ruined. If only there was a way to put her in her place. There is with Wokebusters. So folks, thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Our Furiosa video is moving pretty quickly, so let's help that thing get to 100,000 views. So go check it out if you have not. If you haven't already, you can check out my appearance on the Side Scrollers. By the time this goes live, I will have already been on the show. But as of this recording, it hasn't happened yet. So folks, check me out over there. Join us tonight on the WCBS show. You probably won't get a notification, but this is your notification right here. So folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. In the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.